Imagine a world where the past can speak to us directly. Bond was an architect and archaeologist who shocked the early 20th century with a bold assertion. He believed he could communicate with the spirits of those who built England's ancient ruins. Bond wasn't a charlatan seeking fame. He was a respected professional with a solid background in architecture. His psychic claims, however, made him a controversial figure. They challenged the very foundation of traditional archaeology. His story takes us on a journey into the shadowy borderlands between science and the supernatural. Was he a gifted psychic who unearthed knowledge inaccessible by conventional means? Or was he a talented storyteller who let imagination cloud his judgment? Join me as we explore the mysteries he attempted to unravel. Frederick Bligh Bond was born in 1864 into a world on the cusp of great technological and spiritual change. His upbringing was steeped in the traditions of the Church of England. Young Frederick displayed a keen interest in history, architecture, and the arts. Bond pursued a career as an architect, excelling in his studies. His work often brought him face to face with England's medieval past. During this time, Bond's interest in the psychic realm began to blossom. Seances and attempts to contact the dead were common, and Bond embraced these practices. This path would ultimately lead him to combine his two passions, architecture and psychic exploration. Bond's approach to archaeology was unconventional, to say the least. He didn't rely solely on traditional methods like excavation and artifact analysis. He believed he could access information directly from the spirits of those who designed and built these ancient sites. How did he do it? Through a method known as psychometry. Psychometry is the purported ability to sense the history of an object through physical contact. Bond believed that ancient stones, artifacts, and even the very ground held the psychic residue of past events. He claimed he could read these impressions. Bond also employed automatic writing, allowing his hand to move freely across the page, guided by the spirits he contacted. His work at Glastonbury Abbey would thrust him into the spotlight and fuel the debate about the role of psychic abilities in archaeology. No site is more intertwined with Frederick Bligh Bond's legacy than Glastonbury Abbey. Nestled in the heart of Somerset, England, Glastonbury Abbey is a place steeped in myth and legend. By the early 20th century, the abbey lay in ruins, its former glory hinted at by crumbling walls and overgrown foundations. In 1908, Bond was appointed Director of Excavations at Glastonbury Abbey. Armed with his psychic abilities and a team of skeptical but willing workers, Bond set about uncovering the abbey's secrets. What followed was a series of remarkable discoveries. Bond, guided by his spirit contacts, unearthed previously unknown structures, including the Edgar Chapel and the Chapel of St. Dunstan. Bond's findings were not only archaeologically significant, but also aligned with long-forgotten historical accounts of the abbey's layout. The success at Glastonbury Abbey brought Bond both acclaim and criticism. His supporters hailed him as a visionary, while detractors dismissed his findings as mere coincidence or deliberate fraud. Bond's work at Glastonbury Abbey sent shockwaves through the archaeological community. The notion of using psychic abilities in archaeology was met with skepticism and hostility. Many viewed Bond's methods as charlatanism, a step backward for the discipline. They argued his findings could be explained by conventional means. Bond's knowledge and intuition, not psychic powers, were seen as the true drivers of his success. His controversial 1919 book, The Gate of Remembrance, added fuel to the fire. The book led to Bond's dismissal from Glastonbury Abbey in 1922. Despite the backlash, Bond continued to write and lecture on psychic archaeology. Frederick Bligh Bond's legacy remains a subject of debate. He died in 1945, his reputation as a credible archaeologist forever intertwined with his controversial methods. Some dismiss him as a footnote in the history of archaeology. a cautionary tale about the dangers of mixing the supernatural with scientific inquiry. Others see him as a visionary who dared to explore the uncharted territories of human consciousness. While his psychic claims remain difficult to prove or disprove, there's no denying that Bond made significant contributions to archaeology. His work at Glastonbury Abbey resulted in the discovery of important architectural features that had been lost to time. Bond's willingness to challenge the status quo forced the field to confront its own assumptions and limitations. Though Bond's methods were met with skepticism in his time, the concept of psychic archaeology or intuitive archaeology persists. Some contemporary archaeologists and historians believe that intuition and subjective experience can play a valuable role in the research process. They argue that while traditional scientific methods are essential, they shouldn't be the only tools in an archaeologist's kit. These practitioners point to the importance of intuition in forming hypotheses and interpreting data. They believe that by cultivating a deep connection to the sites they study, archaeologists can tap into a wellspring of knowledge that might otherwise remain hidden. This approach doesn't necessarily involve communicating with spirits or embracing the supernatural. Instead, it emphasizes the importance of subjective experience and the role of the subconscious mind in understanding the past. Bond's legacy lives on in this ongoing discussion about the nature of knowledge and the potential for unconventional approaches to shed light on the mysteries of the past. Frederick Bligh Bond's story is a captivating blend of history, archaeology, and the paranormal. It compels us to confront our own beliefs about the nature of reality and the limits of human perception. Whether we view him as a visionary or a misguided eccentric, Bond's life and work raise profound questions about the ways we interact with the past. He challenged us to consider the possibility that there may be more to archaeology than meets the eye. Perhaps, as Bond believed, the past is not as silent as we think. Bond's story serves as a reminder that the pursuit of knowledge is an ongoing journey full of twists, turns, and unexpected discoveries. It encourages us to keep an open mind, to question our assumptions, and to embrace the possibility that the answers we seek may lie in the most unexpected of places.